So you remember when we showed you this about monkeypox? Watch this. This is kind of funny.
Now, the main thing we're looking at today is it turns out that the National Institutes of Health in the United States and the Wuhan Institute of Virology have both been working on monkeypox, coincidentally, before the outbreak that we are currently experiencing. So rather strange. Now, we're not going to be talking about the involvement of the NIH in SARS coronavirus 2 and possible gain of function research. We're not going to be talking about the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the fact that it coincidentally is only 14 miles from the wet market where the COVID-19 pandemic allegedly started. We're not going to be talking about the World Health Organization's frankly embarrassing, farcical, I don't like to use the term investigation into the origins of this virus. We're just going to stick to the facts about monkeypox, not COVID-19, not SARS coronavirus 2, although you may draw some parallels.
So that's him being cheeky, because we now know that the gain of function research at the Wuhan Viral Institute lab of coronavirus viral labbing things was most likely the cause of this coronavirus, COVID-19. Very possible, very highly likely. And now we're having monkeypox, and he says, we found out, you're not going to believe this, but they were doing same kind of research on monkeypox. And then what happens? And then all the big pharma funded people who've been bullshitting you since the beginning of COVID are still doing it. So the people who bullshitted you about ivermectin and told you it was poison, the people who bullshitted you about masks, the people who bullshitted you about Fauci, the people who bullshitted you about targeted Barrington Declaration idea, the people who bullshitted you about herd immunity, they're back at it. Now they want to tell you you're crazy if you think this virus came from a lab. Now, again, I don't know. They don't know where the virus came from. But what I do know is that this is ridiculous to start calling other people after they've been wrong consistently. The Daily Beast has been wrong about COVID. They were wrong about the lab leak theory. They were wrong about masks. They're wrong about Fauci. They're wrong about everything. And now, and because they're funded by Big Pharma. And now if you have a question about this virus that goes against the establishment, they're going to say monkeypox is here and the COVID truthers. COVID truthers.
Ooh,
what are you guys at the Daily Beast except COVID liars? So, yeah.
Look at the hat.
And they put a tinfoil hat on this guy. Because he's so paranoid and afraid, he thinks it protects him somehow. You know, like a cloth mask. The subhead is hundreds of cases of chatter about vaccines has sent conspiracy theorists into full-on meltdown. No, I think it sent you into full-on meltdown. Mark Hay is his name over at the Clinton Daily Beast. And he, of course, if you read that article, it's all full of misinformation. And so here's a bunch of people saying conspiracy theories that the U.S. let loose monkeypox. That's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories on U.S. spreading monkeypox are all over. Monkeypox wasn't created in a lab, and other claims debunked. They're doing it again. It's such a bizarre theory.
Yeah, the last one.
Monkeypox outbreak, bizarre theory. God, what a bizarre theory to suspect that maybe the Wuhan virus lab, which was also working on monkeypox. But here's the science. Didn't really happen. That's crazy. How could you even think that could just because it's probable that the Wuhan lab did the gain of function that led to the COVID-19 virus? It is crazy to think that even though they were doing the same kind of research on the monkeypox vaccine, that could it's crazy. It's a bizarre.
Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from, man?
Where does this come from? You act like the same thing was said about the COVID-19 virus and that you all lied about it. And then people got kicked off social media for saying that the same thing happened to the COVID virus. And then it turns out it did happen.
Do you hear yourself right now?
They can't wait to call someone else a conspiracy theorist.
Pre-bunking.
Here, look at this. BBC monkeypox wasn't created in a lab, and other claims debunked. And then they put, it says satirical memes sharing jokes about monkeypox have been widely shared online. Oh my God. We got to stop talking crazy and fight the real virus. Satirical memes being widely spread online. Wear a mask over your eyes so you don't get infected with memes. And down here, you can't read what that says. I'll read it to you. It says, since cases of monkeypox began to emerge in Europe, beliefs about the virus have been shared widely on social media that appear to be recycled from the COVID-19 pandemic. Boy, isn't that a good defense? Hey, just because we killed people before in this exact way, now you're accusing us of doing it again? What are you, crazy? What? You're recycling the arguments about us killing people when we were killing people to say we're killing people now. That's the defense from the BBC. They can't wait to make everyone else see what is going on in this modern era of journalism where anybody who has a different idea than the establishment is immediately a conspiracy crazy kook.
Well, Jimmy, the thing is, I didn't have an idea until they said something.
I feel the same way. Here's another headline. Monkeypox didn't leak from Wuhan.
Uh-huh.
And then look at the subheadlining. The initial evidence suggests. It's like, no, it didn't come from the Wuhan, dummy. That's what the initial evidence. That's what the initial evidence said. It's right
It could
there.
change at any moment.
It could change. Of course, it might have. No, dummy. It didn't leak from the Wuhan lab. Of course, it might have.
It's just initial evidence.
Can't the government? Anyway, so now we're going to take a look at this article. This is from Newsweek. Another, again, ridiculous, big pharma funded publication. Theories linking monkeypox to Wuhan and Ukraine labs.
What?
First of all, I never even heard anybody saying it was coming from a Ukraine lab.
What
Now you guys are denying something nobody even said.
What is happening?
It's like you come home, hey, did you have fun tonight, honey? I wasn't fucking your sister. And I didn't say that. Well, I wasn't. No, I wasn't fucking your sister. Okay?
Oh, no.
Although maybe we haven't got the lab back on the semen from the thing. Who said? Nobody said Ukraine.
It's so suspicious.
Experts have dismissed dubious theories suggesting. So this literally Newsweek is going to do this.
Which experts?
Experts. Which experts?
Oh, John experts. You know him?
Was it the experts over at Snopes who had to step down from Snopes after getting caught launching 50 plagiarized articles at Snopes?
Snopesperts?
Which Snopesperts? Which experts? The experts funded by Bill Gates and the Melinda Fuckface Foundation?
Bill and Melinda Fuckface Foundation.
Experts have dismissed They've dismissed dubious theories suggesting that monkeypox may have leaked from a laboratory in Ukraine or China, saying such claims are nonsense.
I know that's why I didn't make them initially, and I don't know why you're saying it.
We never did. We never said this. In a tweet on Monday, Chuck Calesto, that's a right-wing media activist with 300,000 Twitter followers, wrote, Wuhan lab was experimenting with monkeypox last year. Published research report in International Journal in February 2022.
Is that a right-wing publication?
So here, I don't know. So here he is. Bombshell report. Wuhan lab was experimenting with monkeypox last year. Published in so he just tweets that out. That without comment
about someone else's report.
about someone else's report. It's not his report.
But was he right-wing while he did it?
But this guy's right-wing who tweets out a fact, so you have to dismiss the fact because you don't like his politics.
How much you want to bet, Jimmy, that if you, I never heard of him, but if you looked into it, you'd find out he probably wasn't that right-wing. Because that's what they say about everybody.
Well, if he's right-wing, I don't care what solid evidence he has.
Fair enough.
So this keeps going on in this Newsweek article. It says the Wuhan Institute of Virology is the same Chinese lab implicated in COVID lab leak theories that have circulated throughout the pandemic. You're not calling them conspiracy theories anymore? Because that's what you did call them. Now they're just theories. Huh. What makes them not be a conspiracy theory? Because a conspiracy is just two or more people planning to do something.
Oh, I know. It's when Jon Stewart says it on Colbert.
So, that's it. So that's when it goes from being a conspiracy theory to just a theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe it's when the head of the Lancet study group on the COVID-19 virus said it originated in a lab, U.S. biolabs. Oh, okay. So while theories have been seriously considered by scientists, so these theories of the monkeypox being originated in a Wuhan lab, those theories, they have been seriously considered by scientists. But now you're some kind of crazy if you also consider them. Why is it okay for scientists to seriously consider them, but if you do it, you're a conspiracy crazy?
I like the next sentence the most.
There is yet to be a total consensus on how the pandemic started. What? But you're going to write an article saying you're debunking it? What's the title of this article? Theories linking monkeypox to Wuhan and Ukraine labs torn apart.
They tore like wild monkeys. They tore the theories apart.
They bit that theory in its face and ripped it off.
They bit that theory's face off.
And here, this doesn't seem like they're ripping it apart. Well, there is yet to be a total consensus on how the pandemic started. What? That's so far from tearing it apart.
Since when do things come to total consensus in any area of science?
Right? With natural transmission from animals initially deemed most likely. So they don't know. But I thought it's going to get torn apart. Where does that happen in this story? Who wrote this goddamn story?
Ed Brown.
Ed Brown. Ed, when does this happen? Ed, when does the tearing apart happen in your article? Because we can't find it.
Ed, ask your editor who made that awful title.
Yeah, that's maybe, you know what? Maybe it's not Ed's fault. So let's cut Ed a little slack because he didn't write that. That's right. I have to remind myself. He doesn't write the headlines. The guy who gets even more money from Big Pharma writes the headlines.
Right.
Okay.
And they're designed to be for you to just see it in the Google search and never read the article. That's why you're crazy, Jimmy, for reading the articles.
Scientists are seriously considering it, and there isn't a total consensus on where the virus came from. But it's going to get torn apart somewhere. Somewhere it's going to get torn apart. The February research article discusses the creation of a fragment of a monkeypox virus in order to demonstrate a way of assembling large DNA constructs without errors and enable detection by PCR tests. Blah, 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 blah. That's what that is. That's
working
what that
with
is.
monkeypox.
They are. This assembly product is fail-safe by virtually eliminating any risk of recovering into an infectious virus. Who said that? The people doing the research said it.
Virtually?
The people doing this thing that is we're talking about. They said it. They quote no one else in this article.
Is that the actual researchers or is that the Chinese lab? that has no transparency.
What? Those are the one and the same, no?
I thought they outsourced it. NIH outsourced it to Wuhan lab.
Yeah, and
So
that's
that
who they're.
they're not-
Well, who are? That's who these researchers are. You mean the people? Doesn't matter.
Hmm.
In a statement to Newsweek, News Punch co-founder Sean Al-Tatabi said, the lab leak theory for COVID-19 is being taken very seriously by both the U.S. government and the World Health Organization. Likewise, multiple scientists are currently asking legitimate questions about the possibility of the monkeypox virus also leaking from a lab. Does that sound like they're tearing this apart yet? It sounds like they're
Whoa.
saying it makes complete sense to question this.
Whoa, take it easy on that theory, man. It's already down. Don't stop hitting it.
I think it would be irresponsible not to report on this possibility, given the fact that outlets such as yours ignored the COVID lab leak in the early days of the pandemic. And they printed that in a story with that headline saying it got torn apart.
Can I see the headline again?
Yes.
Theories linking.
Monkeypox to Wuhan and Ukraine labs torn apart.
No, Newsweek was torn apart. I think I just tore Newsweek
That
apart.
Newsweek just got torn apart by that guy.
I thought I misread the title for a second. It's so different.
Places like Science Magazine say monkeypox outbreak questions intensify as cases soar. So they don't have a bullshit title to this. They have a, hey, there's lots of questions. They don't go, and if you have the wrong question, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist, and I bet you're a white supremacist. They don't say that, do they? But Newsweek does.
Just blame it on the gays and shut your mouth.
And watch the and oh, by the way, So yeah. So when the guy says that it's the assembly product is fail-safe. That the guy who's saying that, that's the researcher. I think he went on to say, we think it's fail-safe. It's not like we're the ones doing it. We outsourced it to China. So that's what you're talking about, Kurt. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to show you this, and it's probably too long of a segment already, but the Spectator, their own article doesn't match up with their fucking headline. So this guy, Michael Simmons, writes this article, and the headline is, no, monkeypox didn't leak from Wuhan. And knowing 80% of people only read headlines, the big pharma-funded Spectator says this. And then, but listen to the article. None of in the article backs up that headline. The lab, which is considered by a growing number of scientists to be the origin of the original COVID pandemic, specializes in so-called gain-of-function experiments. These experiments aim to genetically enhance viruses like COVID so they are more likely to jump species to humans. Reports emerged last year that researchers at the lab fell ill before the first cases of COVID-19 were recorded. That's in this article. And then the article says, now a February study has come to light suggesting similar experiments may have been carried out in Wuhan on a monkeypox virus.
Similar fail-safe experiments.
Yeah, so far, these are the fail-safe, no problem. It looked to create a monkeypox virus. It looked to create a monkeypox virus that could be identified on PCR tests. The researchers successfully produced a genomic fragment of monkeypox. They did it. And in that paper, it warned that it was dangerous to do this. That paper said the DNA assembly tool applied in virological research could also raise potential security concerns, especially when assembled product contains a full set of genetic material that can be recovered into a contagious pathogen. So they were even warning of the potential risks of this research in the paper. And then in this article it says, so could it have leaked? The researchers say that this would be impossible. Yeah, I know they say. And they say it was fail-safe.
Did you coordinate with the people that wrote your paper that said it's not fail-safe, maybe?
So it's very unlikely that any experiment on monkeypox in the Wuhan lab would have leaked. So now he's saying it's very unlikely. The headline is, remember, no, it didn't. That was the headline. No, comma, it fucking didn't. I'm embellishing. But that was the headline. Well, I'll show you what the goddamn headline was. No, monkeypox didn't leak from a Wuhan lab. And now they're saying it's very unlikely. Could have.
That headline does everything but flat out call you an asshole, and no asshole.
Yeah. But the discovery of these experiments raises alarm, given the experience of COVID. And then he goes on to explain in that article about how Fauci got caught lying about the original COVID being made in a virus. And he says that's why it raises alarm, because these fuckers lie all the time.
Do you think
So the article, Kurt, the article actually did the opposite of what this headline said. The article gave credence to people questioning if it came from the Wuhan lab. And the headline says the exact opposite, much like this headline. Much like it never got torn apart. Isn't that weird that the headlines say the exact opposite of what's happening inside their article? Could it be that they don't want to piss off their big pharma funders?
Not just that. This is for algorithm. So you make sure the editors are experts on what algorithm, like it used to be stuff like Ben Shapiro destroys with facts and logic, and that would get, and now they're setting this up like, so that way if you just go to do a quick search and I wonder if there's anything to this, oh, it's all been debunked.
That's what this is remarkable. So to look at these two stories and look at these stupid fucking headlines. They're still doing it. They won't stop. Anybody who goes outside the big pharma funded establishment narrative is immediately called a crazy. Immediately. Wow. Sacramento, back here in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our shows.